channel. It is Kiera, and I am here today because I have a series that I want to bring to you about how I get closer to God, how I got closer to God, and maybe you could pick up on some things that will help you get closer to Him too. Just stay tuned because listen, I'm dropping all the keys. Getting closer to God for me was a process in which I didn't volunteer for. Now, I've gone to church for years on top of years. But like I've said in my previous videos, I didn't learn who God was in a church. I did not have my first encounter with God in a church. I found God through a situation that totally changed my life. The way that God showed up to me was extremely personal to me and my situation. Of course, going to church, you feel the spirit and you get to worship and you get to praise and you get to fellowship with other people. But for your individual self, you may or may not experience God in the church for yourself as well. So everybody's story is different. This is just me sharing how I do what I do when it comes to loving on the Lord. So the first thing that I want to talk about in this series is how I pray, or how I get into the mindset of prayer or meditation. Now, this is different across the board, of course, but there is some things that I do that totally get me in the mood, get me in the right spirit, the right mind frame to bring myself to God. So the first thing I like to do is set the mood. I have candles, and sometimes I turn on some music, some worship music to kind of get myself in this mind frame. And then I'll turn on some worship music so that I can get myself in the mood as well. And this is just me easing my way into a worship or a meditative state. It just relaxes me. It calms down the environment that I'm in, and it just feels good. While I'm doing that, whatever music I'm listening to, I really like to try to feel the words of the song and really just take my mind back to all of the great and amazing things God have brought me through, all of the things that God has done for me in my life that really just changed my life. And even the small things, waking me up that morning, giving me a sound mind, making me feel good in my body, having movement and power in my limbs, just thinking of the goodness of God really puts you in a very grateful state and an all-around good posture before prayer. How I like to start off my prayer is basically acknowledging God Himself, who He is, what He's done for me, how powerful, how mighty, how much of a provider He is for me. Everything that God is, I acknowledge Him. I say back to Him. Think about it. If you had somebody that you were in a relationship with, whether it's your brother, sister, cousin, boyfriend, husband, whatever, you like to hear them say certain things. We talk about love languages, but when it comes to a relationship with God, all of those things are encompassing of who He is. And so I give that back to Him. Lord, you are mighty. Lord, you are my provider. You are Alpha and Omega. Lord, you are my refuge and my shield. Like, I just tell Him everything that He already knows, but it gets me into, again, a grateful state to be even speaking to Him, to be coming before Him, giving Him all of what He is right back to Him. Because we're going to bless the Lord at all times, baby boo. What I like to do after that is think of all of the things that I have done that day, that week, that month, and just ask God for forgiveness. Because listen, ain't nobody watching this video perfect. Ain't nobody that's not watching this video perfect. I'm not perfect. You are not perfect. And so we have to acknowledge, like, I messed up today. We want to ask God for forgiveness. So before we start praying to Him about all these different things, we want to clear our minds. We want to empty our baskets. Because when we pray to God, we are coming to Him empty and wanting Him to fill up what we came with. And so you can't have God fill up something that you have not emptied. And so going to God in your own personal altar, which again, you should create one in your home. I don't care if it's a little space, a little table, a little closet, whatever it is, give yourself a designated space to go and talk to God. But when you go to your place, you want to make sure that you come there ready to give God your worries, your cares, whatever it is, your sins, give them to Him. Ask Him to transmute those things. Ask Him to renew you. But that is just the biggest thing to me, is to ask for forgiveness. He's happy to forgive you. Trust me. After I ask God for forgiveness, I like to go into pouring out my actual concerns. So then I acknowledge who He is. I ask Him for forgiveness, and then I start to tell Him what my concerns are. Tell God all of your concerns. And my concerns could be anywhere from, Lord, I felt anxious today. Lord, I need more money. Lord, I was worried about my family today. Lord, I need provision. I don't know what to do about my job. I don't know what to do about my business. I don't know what to do about whatever it is. I give Him my concerns, even if it's a small concern. I give that to him. If you've lost a loved one and it still bothers you to this day, maybe they died years ago. If that's a concern of yours, give it to God. Lord, I am concerned that I will not heal from this thing, that I will not grow from this thing, that I will be grieving for the rest of my life. Lord, show me how to have more peace in my life. Whatever it is that you have concerns about, lay that thing down on that altar that you made. Lay that thing down in front of God and let him know, hey, Lord, this is what is bothering me today. Because keeping it bottled up, what you gonna do with that? All that's gonna do is create a whole lot of turmoil inside of you, and then it's going to manifest itself outside of you, whether that be a sickness, whether that be an argument with a friend, whether that be anything. So you always want to empty yourself out. After I give God my concerns, I turn around and then I start to speak life into myself. I start to tell myself certain things that I want to be that I may not be right now because I want to call things into existence. I start to tell myself the things that are contradictory to what I felt that day. So if I say, Lord, I felt anxious today while I'm giving him my concerns, I will then turn around and say, I feel peace every day. I feel God's love around me every day. I feel God's protection around me every day. I just say things that combat what I've already laid down to him, because after I give it to him, I want to fill my basket up with more things to be happy about, to be grateful about, to leave that space feeling better about. And after I do that, the very last thing I do is I just simply get quiet. I allow my mind to just quiet and silence so that I can just soak in whatever it is that God wants to tell me, that he wants to show me, that he wants me to feel, whatever it is. I'll also have my Bible in this space, because sometimes you'll open up that Bible and you will get you a rhema word, because God is like, look, I hear you and this is what I want to tell you tonight. So of course, just make sure that you have your Bible in your sacred space, because you never know what type of message God will give you. You will be inclined to go and search for that word. Listen, the very first time that I started doing this and I popped up on my Bible after some good prayer and that message popped up on me and answered exactly what I was praying to him about, I was like, ooh, Lord, you just gave me a word. Show you. You really, really, really want to open yourself up to be able to receive what it is that God is trying to tell you, because he will speak to you. That's what I'm gonna tell you right now. Do not be sitting up there thinking that you're just gonna pray to God and you're gonna get real serious about this thing and he ain't gonna say nothing. Baby, he gonna tell you something real fast. You sitting up there worried about something and God is like, she don't even know when she go open that mailbox, it's gonna be something up in there about a new career. Or she don't even know when she get on LinkedIn, it's gonna be somebody on there with a new opportunity. Or she don't even know that when she go to the grocery store tomorrow, that prayer for that husband is going to be answered. He is going to be right in the same aisle as her. She don't even know that she's been praying for that family so hard, but that family is going to reunite and going to be happier than ever. She don't even know that she's been praying to get this weight off of her body, but I got a plan for her coming on the way, and it's going to change her spirit and get her more focused on changing her body. She don't even know that that sickness she's been struggling with, I will heal the next week. How do we really expect God to work in our lives if we are not going to him in prayer? Seriously going to him in prayer. Not no, let me not into my praise the Lord, my soul to keep it, I before work, I praise the Lord, my soul to take. We grown. We not doing that prayer no more. That's the prayer that you used to do when you was real little. You know, you get your little plate of food, you be like, God is good, God is great, thank you for my food today, amen. We're not doing that no more. We really, really, really going to God. And I promise you, when you go to God and you really get real deep into what he's done for you, the things that you are concerned about, asking him to forgive you, just thinking about your life, the spirit will hit you so fast and you would just feel like, oh my goodness, I can feel, this energy. And then you start to cry and then you start to pray because it's really connecting for you. So do not be afraid to go to God. And truly expect that he will say something back to you. In fact, have your journal and stuff waiting right there as well, because, and actually that's going to be in the next episode, but make sure that you have resources so that you are able to jot down whatever it is that God is saying to you. Okay, I hope that y'all love this video. It's so important to cling to Jesus, especially in a time like this, because the world been acting real crazy lately, and it's important to cling to Jesus. You gotta cling. I ain't even do the whoa, but you know what I'm saying. I am here for you while you journey on to getting closer to God, and make sure that you tune in for episodes 2 and 3, because this is another 3-part series and I'm giving you all the tea on how to get closer to him. Period. Come closer to him. Come a little closer so that I can whisper in your ear. Wanna tell you something? Let me stop playing because y'all not ready for the karaoke. Period. Period.